Hi Alex, this is Paul. I want to give you a little bit of an update. So, you know, basically this whole front wall of the garage is completely destroyed. That's why it's not here. And we have to replace all of the joists that are up here because they're all rotted. There's nothing to save. And there's the pile of debris, all the rotted joists. The other side actually looks pretty good, at least from the top side. And the other thing that's happening here is you've got all of this wiring that's here, and it's kind of a little bit of a complex mess. And I've been speaking to my electrician. His basic sense is, because these are all individually pulled wires, meaning they're pulled through the conduit, probably if you want to go back, sorry for the noise, with anything somewhat similar to that's here, it's cheaper to just abandon these wires and rewire the garage. So I need to talk to you about what you want to do. And there was also some plumbing up here. There was an air supply line here for a compressor. You know, nothing to do with anything other than the fact that this was equipped as a garage. And as it turns out, there were two sprinkler heads. There's one here, and there were two over here, and they are hooked up to the main house water supply. And that is not the way a code-compliant sprinkler system is hooked up. So I'm guessing whoever built the garage, they kind of did this on their own. So we need to talk about what you want to do with those sprinkler heads. The other thing is, as we've gotten into this, there's your pile of debris. This whole outside corner is all rotted all the way down to the floor, and you can see a lot of the rotted debris down there. So over here where Jeff is standing here, this doorway in here, we finally opened it up today, and you got other things going on here. So unfortunately, water's been migrating into this whole wall, and see the rot up there? I'm holding the camera. And the way this deck is built, this is a cantilever deck, so it gets its support from these guys coming out of the wall here and basically down at that post. Other than that, it's just connected to the side of the building. Unfortunately, these guys that come in here and provide the support at this end are part of the rotted problem up here. They go back in. So this deck is compromised for the whole support at this side of it. And Jeff was just back up there, and right opposite that post at the wall, you can put your finger through the stucco. All the plywood behind the stucco is completely rotted, termite ridden. So the unfortunate part is, if you start touching any of this deck in order to repair it, it's pretty much coming down and needs to be rebuilt. There's no way to do it, because you start pulling off one thing, the railing comes off, and one piece of the Lego set's connected to the other part. And then if we come over here, up top, I sent you an earlier picture, but I'll include it in this video. There's been water migrating down into this corner, and unfortunately this is a structural corner, and it goes all the way down into the wall down below. So that's a whole nother kind of hot potato. So I need to talk about what you want to do and how far you want to go while we're here kind of ripping all this stuff apart. And then of course, if this deck is all leaking, got problems, I'm going to tell you, in order to end up with, you know, this deck is probably, as we go to inspect it, the remaining portion of it is going to have exact same problems as the first half of it, plus this beam or girder that's here supporting it is all rotted also. So if you go up top, all of those joists are completely rotted. So there's really not a whole lot to save here, unfortunately. And that's kind of the synopsis here. So we need to figure out where you want to go with this. This cantilever deck here, this originally was a deck that had the two beams supporting it, and what happened at some point is this must have started to fail, and somebody came up with the ingenious idea of putting up a post and a pier here to support that, but that's not the way it was originally designed. And this needs to come out, and that whole cantilever deck is rotted out, so you're going to end up having to replace that deck as well, and it's going to likely get called out very aggressively in inspection reports. So that's the status of the cantilever deck, that upper deck, and the lower deck that connects to the thing that we're working on over here. Okay, so that's a quick update. And the other part is we don't know on your cantilever deck up top there if we have any dry rot or structural damage, but it's likely if we start pulling up the deck boards that you've got a lot of rotted cantilever deck joists, which if they have to be replaced, it means you either have to open up the ceiling below the deck or the floor above. So that's the cantilever deck up there. So anyway, that's a quick update, and I'll speak to you later. Thank you. Bye.